Today, while doing my home inspection, I came across some issues that raised my concern level as to some structural issues, possibly foundation. So we're going to go in here and take a look at some of the things that I saw today. When I first started walking around this property, I saw some cracking up near the garage door. Now this is pretty minor and relatively common, but when I came around to the side, I noticed that the freeze board here had pulled away a little bit beyond the realm of what I would consider normal. So as I continued moving down the property, I came across this expansion joint here. And if you look down at the bottom, it's pretty tight at the bottom, but as you go up, it seems to split wider and wider. This is an indication of some stress and some movement. You can also see that it has pulled this mortar joint apart a little bit. More of the same going on this side of the structure, where you can see this window is starting to pull away from the brick veneer. It's not too bad, but the gap is definitely wider at the top than it is at the bottom. This expansion joint here, it looks very similar to the one on the other side of the property, tight at the bottom, wide at the top. This is an indication that the front of the structure is starting to lean forward. As we enter the property, we almost immediately run into a substantial crack in the floor tile that runs all the way across the room and lines up almost perfectly with one of those expansion joints that was opening up right by this window. Where I live, we have expansive soil, and if the soil is too dry, we can have these sort of conditions. And as you can see, the sprinkler system is in the off position, and even the backflow preventer has been shut off. And it's in the middle of the summer, so this hasn't been run in quite some time, and that is probably causing some dry soil conditions and probably the culprit for the problems we're having today. Today I'm going to be using my Zip Level Pro 2000. I'm going to take this around and get some measurements of the foundation. Should give us a better idea of what we're dealing with. I set the base in the relative center of the room and set it to 0. Then I take measurements at about every 7 to 10 feet. And what we're looking for as a rule of thumb is for it to be within about 1.5 inches of 0. As you can see here, we're getting nearly a 2-inch drop from the relative center of the house to a couple of areas here along the perimeter. This is definitely outside of the realm of normal. Now, all of these issues that I found today don't necessarily mean that the foundation has failed, but they definitely justify the level of concern that I had. And I'm going to recommend that they have this condition further evaluated by a professional engineer so they can determine exactly what's going on and a course of action.